Good morning and welcome to Redefining the Significance of You Time for You, by you, because of you. My name is Denise Drinkwalter, and I'm an empowerment life coach supporting women around the world to lean into and realize the importance of you. The goal of our channel is to provide you, the viewer, with some takeaways that will help you shift, change, reevaluate, and/or become way more aware of what is possible. We get to have a variety of guests who will be sharing their life experiences that have helped them become the incredible human beings that they are today. And today is no exception. I am so excited for today's show. Do you know that every one of us, sometime in our lives, we have had that free time? You know, the time where you feel guilty for taking time out for yourself, embarrassed or wrong for giving yourself that me time. We are here to change that and to support you to see what is truly possible when you take the time for you, by you, because of you. Welcome to today's special guest, Kimberly Arbuthnotrn. She is a retired registered nurse and a professionally trained cook, a culinary educator, and a life coach that's trained in the art of feminine presence. She's created an experiential program that empowers women who struggle with emotional stress and addictive eating habits. Her mission is to help women learn transformational practices that lead to freedom from the use of food to cope with stressful emotions. What an honor to have you here with us today, Kimberly.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Food. How does it manifest itself through the emotions? What types of things do you see happening? And people who come to you for support, what are they realizing is happening in their lives around food?
Generally, and I'm one of those people. Transparency, minute one. I am one of those people. And what I realized about myself and what the women I work with tell me is when they are experiencing strong emotions, when they're experiencing overwhelm, they head for the refrigerator, they head for the kitchen. And if you are the type of individual that you are a people pleaser, that you are a 9 on the Enneagram, if you're familiar with the Enneagram, like I am a 9, you are constantly looking out for everyone else but yourself. And so individuals come to you, your family members, friends, you go to work, people have things going on, and they share these things with you. And rather than being able to say, that's that person and this is me, a lot of times we internalize that energy of all the other people that are in difficulties, and we find ourselves overwhelmed and emotionally just drowning, almost drowning in the emotions of all that energy that we've taken on for ourselves. And not just others, but if I have, I had a situation a couple of years ago where my mom was chronically ill for years, and then a very long and slow and difficult death process. I just ate. I just ate to bury all my sadness and all my guilt and all the feelings that I had about her illness, about my ability to take care of her. Even as a nurse, it wasn't easy. And then what happens is, as my and the women I work with, as our weight goes up, and as we begin to have health issues, we feel shame, we feel guilt, we feel like a failure.
For sure.
That is a very common issue for women, particularly as the caregivers. About 36% of us fall into this category.
Wow, that's a high number. And it's not surprising. And I'm not even sure that that would be as accurate today based on the world we're currently living in. I don't know where the stats, but I mean, it is it's so important to understand. What you landed on was really good in terms of you're going into high stress. And so what strategies do you have in place to help you manage those? And a strategy that isn't healthy that you talked about, you not only gain weight, but then you feel worse about yourself. Like it just, I'm sure, is like a big black dark hole. And I love what you do because you are here to help people know that that does not have to be that way, right?
Correct. It does not. It does
Yeah.
not. It took me 4 decades to figure that out. Fortunately for me, I have the kind of metabolism where it wasn't really a big issue till I hit my late 50s.
Yep.
And I'm 65 years old now. And the other piece of that is when I also learned the impact of food on health. I'm a registered nurse. I've done a lot of cardiac, I've done a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I knew that food has a big impact, particularly on our cardiac health. I didn't know the relationship between food and cancer until my husband was diagnosed at the age of 58. And that's when I was in my mid 50s. That's when I put it in high gear and said, I've got to figure this out because I want to help him and I want to help me.
Yeah.
And that led me to the experience of working with a whole population of people who were experiencing significant illness. And when we started to feed them well with nutrient dense foods, they got better. They felt better. Some of them recovered, some of them didn't.
Yeah.
Very honest, it was too late.
Right.
But when we deal with that stress, and it was also a piece of that was dealing with that stress of having that diagnosis. That is a rough diagnosis. And you immediately, your stress level goes to here.
Right.
You're told you have cancer. And so we worked with Qigong, with Tai Chi, with meditation, and with providing really, really healthy, nutrient dense foods for these folks. And we saw improvements. I saw a couple miracles, what I call miracles of people who recovered. And so when I was able to put all that together, particularly with the stress, with and the just the health effects of eating the wrong foods, and we won't go into that today because that's a whole that, you get me on that soapbox, I'll never be quiet. So
but it's so important, right? Like, how do we manage stress? Do we manage stress? Is there some stress that is okay? And when do we know we've gone past that needle of okay and now we need to get some help? Because here you are, a registered nurse, right? Somebody who was in the field, who helped with cardiac, and you still were doing things that now you know you've changed your life because of your new learning and your propensity to know that doesn't have to be this way. This is not going to be our story. This is going to change. I love that. Power in knowing.
When I very first speak with women about this issue, what I have identified is three keys. And that first key is awareness. We often have this, it's a habit, it's habitual. We do it, don't even know we're doing it. And once we become aware of the habit, now we can begin to address it. The second key is becoming present and mindful. Okay, now I know I have it. Now I have to become mindful so that when I am having a feeling, having an emotion, and I'm in that strong place, and I head to the kitchen, to the refrigerator, to the pantry, to the freezer, whatever, the 7-Eleven or the vending machine at work.
Yeah.
It doesn't just happen at home. I can become present in my body and say, what do I really need?
Right.
What do I need? And that takes practice.
I bet.
That takes a lot of practice. And in my group work with my women, in my groups, that is one of our major stress points.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're aware. Now let's go inside. Get present and mindful and think, all right, what's a better way to handle this? Such that part of my work with these women is we do one-on-one coaching, and then we have a 90-minute group call. So I'm spending about 2.5 hours a week with the women in my program. And the mindfulness piece, that approach it's stellar. And not only does it help with the eating, but all of a sudden you have this overlap of these other areas, your relationships, your work life. And then the third key is support.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very, very difficult thing to change.
Yeah.
And particularly when it's ingrained and you've been doing it for a long, long time. You need support of other women on that journey. There are others who just don't understand that. Oh, you just deal with it and get over it. You yell and you rant and rave, and then it's done. Not if you're a people pleaser.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, for sure. And don't you find women in particular, I think there's a multitude of layers as to why we are carrying so much stress, because we do naturally and society driven are the caregivers.
Correct.
And so it's just part of the quote unquote DNA, as it were.
Yes.
Right. And you mentioned, about when we get into the middle age and we are in what they call that infamous sandwich generation, where our kids, if we have family, our children are going through adulting. That can be fun.
I'm still there.
Right? Well, me too. But there is light on the other side for sure. And then our parents aging. So we are carrying, and how do we spread? We know what we want to do in our hearts, but it's impossible to do everything that we would love to be able to do unless we cloned ourselves in however many different ways. And so we carry all that. And what do we do with that stress? We just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. And we don't do what you're doing, is tuning in, stop, reflect. What's really going on? Because I think you share a lot about we change from the inside out, right? Yeah. Can you tell us a bit more around that, just so we've got a really deeper understanding of that?
Yeah. Yes. One of the things that was very difficult for me to learn, and I'm still learning because I'm still adulting children, and I still have an aging father who I take care of every 4 weeks. I go and see him, and he lives 250 miles from me. So I lost track of the question.
How do you tell us more about change starts from the inside out?
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So what I've had to do, and what most women have to do, is they have to go back to, who am I? What am I doing here? What is my purpose here? Things are changing very rapidly. And as you said, being in that sandwich, I'm being pulled in so many directions. I have to go back and focus on me in order to stay healthy and hopefully move on past these things into my own older age.
Right.
And so what I've discovered is meditation, and a kind of meditation where I'm really focusing on my energy, what we call my vertical core. I'm in my energy centers, and we call it the light globe. In my Art of Feminine Presence work, we call it the light globe. And we have this bubble around us. It's not a shield. It's just a protection where I'm saying, I have this energy. I'm going to choose how I'm going to allocate that it's a resource. How will I allocate my energetic resources? And I have to start with allocating for myself.
Love that.
I have to take that energy, strengthen it, and become whole myself before I can give to others.
I love that.
And as females in this society, that is in most societies, let's be honest, that's a very hard concept to grasp.
It is because it's counterintuitive to what we naturally do, right? Because when we take that time out for ourselves and figure out and just do that work for ourselves, it's taking time away from everybody else.
Yes.
But what I believe you were saying, and this goes so much in line as to why I have this show, what's your you time, right?
Right.
Take it. Do not give that time away, because when you do, you're robbing yourself. And when you're not your whole self, you can't give to others in the way that you do want to, because we're human. We can only do so much.
That's right. That's right.
And then we hit these walls and wonder, why am I crash and burning, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we do the journey of support for ourselves through our everyday, you have the capacity. And when you marry into all of the work that you do, it is all encompassing. It's not just about the nutrition. It's about nurturing your body and your soul and your heart and your mind. So important. A holistic approach. I love this. So good.
Yeah. Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
Who would you say the work that you do, who is it for? If our listeners are, I don't even know if I have this emotional component to my eating. Yes, sometimes I go to the fridge and look for chocolate. Chocolate sauce for that ice cream that I just feel like I should have. And I do find that when we hit mid-age that there is a shift. I agree with you. There's a new awareness around food, and it can control you, or you can start to control it. That's been my experience. So the work that you do, who is it for? Tell us a bit more about that.
In order to change something, you have to be ready to make that change. And if you are in the position where your weight is creeping up, you're stressed out of your mind, you're beginning to have health issues, pre-diabetic like I was, blood pressure issues like I was, and then have a family history on top of that, it's time to wake up and smell the coffee.
Yeah.
It really is. And I want to work with women who are ready to embrace that. I've got to change. Here is some help for me to do that. And they're hurting. They're overweight. They're unhealthy. They're just so stressed out of their minds, and they don't know what to do with that. They don't know how to go internal and work on that stress level. And so I really am encouraging women to get ready to make the change. And if you're not ready, wait till you're ready, because I don't like to waste anybody's time or money or effort. But it's generally time, particularly if you're perimenopausal. And the weight is really starting to creep up and you're in that sandwich. Take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself. The world needs you. The world needs your guidance, your message, your purpose. And we, as women, we really, really, really have to support each other.
Absolutely.
And I want to offer that those groups who come together to support, to learn, to love, and to care about themselves and the planet.
Yeah.
I know.
Amazing. Amazing. I love your work. It's so
Thanks.
powerful and so all-encompassing. I think that it is absolutely imperative for people to get into your world. And I'm so excited to share that you have an opportunity coming up very soon for people to learn more. You are hosting a 60-minute talk, complimentary, called Break the Cycle of Emotional Eating. And that's happening on, is it the 27th of
The
April?
27th of April. Yep. And
At noon.
At noon Eastern time.
Right?
And it's posted on Eventbrite.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll post it here. Is that right?
Yes, we will. We'll put it in
Okay.
the show notes. Absolutely.
Okay.
So when this drops into however it works, I don't understand the technology behind all this beautiful stuff. We just have our conversations and it goes out to the world. So
Yes.
it will be in the show notes below once this goes into the live stream on the YouTube channel. So what an honor and a privilege to not only meet you, but have this beautiful conversation with you. And I can't wait to see everybody who's going to sign up for this 60-minute talk that you are giving for free to give people some more in-depth awareness about not only what you do, but what they can do to help themselves break the cycle of emotional eating. Thank you so much for being our guest today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And for the listeners who are watching this on the replay, make sure that you, subscribe to our channel, because every week I have such incredible human beings, guests here who give me so much learning and so many nuggets of gold. You want to grab those when you sign up and subscribe to our channel. And I want you to know that I do have a newsletter that goes out twice a week with tips and tricks on strategizing, tools, techniques, everything you might need as a mom. Might be struggling with life, might be struggling with your children. I was talking earlier about the sandwich generation. You might just be struggling in general with relationships. We share it all. I want to wish you all a wonderful day. Thank you for joining us. And thanks again, Kimberly. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Bye.